Hello, we are Illinois State University, and today we will be presenting our feasibility study on implementing solar energy on Cheyney University. My name is Austin Miller, and I will be covering our team structure, methodologies, and design-related material. We began the process by researching specifics to Cheyney University and studying the campus and trying to determine the difference of where solar could and should be installed on campus. We used Aurora Solar for designs, system advisory model, software to optimize system sizes, an energy tool base, and the Solar District Cup Excel file for financials. We have worked diligently to develop our best solution these last months, and we hope you enjoy our proposal. Our ultimate design goal was to create the most cost-effective, sustainable, and realistic solar battery design storage that benefit Cheyney University the greatest. In total, we developed 10 designs, including 5 roof-mounted systems, 3 carports, and 2 ground mounts. We focused on attacking the campus' largest energy consumers from start to finish and tried to offset those buildings and make the largest impact. Our numerical goal was to offset 30% of the campus energy consumption. We felt that 30% was a rational and significant amount of energy to offset based on our financial model. Any solar systems larger would be too expensive and smaller systems would not be economically worth it. Because of the layout and energy consumption patterns of the campus, most of our solar energy production is in the form of ground mount and carports. Cheyney campus does not offer much opportunity for rooftop designs, so we try to utilize areas of opportunity the most. Areas of opportunity for us are areas that would not be negatively affected by the addition of solar array. Our areas of opportunity consisted of the geothermal field, carports, and empty space near the new Sciences Center, the largest energy consumer. Additionally, we wanted our designs to follow ecologically sustainable development, which is development that meets today's needs without depriving the needs of the future. We wanted to make sure our designs and design process abided by our virtues of sustainability, economical, environmental, social, and human. Also, installing solar on Cheyney campus would promote them as a clean energy innovator and give the historical school more chances to keep making history. And will show the community and prospective students of Cheyney that it is innovative and proactive. Ultimately, we tried to reach our design goals while looking at possible solutions from different views. Arguably, our most important designs were our 2 ground mount designs on the north and south campus. Our largest ground mount design is on the geothermal field and feeds into the residential and dining hall buildings. Our second ground mount design is located by the new Sciences Center, the campus' largest energy consumer, and offsets 24.3% of the building's annual energy consumption. Together, ground mounts are made of just over 4,300 modules, are 1,352 kilowatts in size, and produce 1.75 million kilowatt hours annually. In our design plan, we implemented 3 substantial carport designs named Parking Lot A, which resides on the north campus and is the smaller of the 2 lots to the east and feeds in the Duckery Social Sciences Center. Another Parking Lot B resides on the north campus and is the larger of the 2 lots to the west. Parking Lot B feeds in the new Sciences Center. Our third and final carport design is Parking Lot C, which is on the south campus, just south of Ada George's Dining Hall, and just west to the sewage treatment and feeds into the Ada George's Dining Hall. Together, our carport designs consist of just over 3,000 modules, are just over 1,500 kilowatts in size, and produce 1.95 million kilowatt hours annually. Finally, we implemented 5 rooftop designs in our proposal, 3 on the north campus, including the Duckery Social Science Center, the Hill Library, and Harris Turner Building, and 2 on the south, including the Ada George's Dining Hall and the new Residence Hall. Ultimately, our roof mount systems combined to consist of 1,510 modules, are 533 kilowatts in size, and produce just over 672,000 kilowatt hours annually.
Hi, my name is Anthony Bauman, and I'm going to be touching a little bit on the battery storage aspect of our design. Our batteries will consist of lithium-ion chemical composition with around 2,063 kilowatt hours of capacity and a power rating of 65 kilowatts. We decided to use Samsung batteries. The process, we chose to begin picking a building that needed the most resilience The current local distribution system is known for large power losses and voltage drops, which played a role in deciding what buildings we chose. We chose the Atlanta George's Dining Hall, which was one of the most critical loads due to the need to refrigerate the food and keep the students living on campus fed. The current system allows for resilience up to 4 hours. Our battery optimization for the system was done using Energy Toolbase, and the electricity rate structure was provided by Pico Electric. The load profile was collected from the dining hall interval data, which simulated the anticipated energy production for a year. The net present value for this system after adding the anticipated energy production, after adding the BESS is $60,890 annually. The total overall cost for the battery is $1.19 million over 20 years, and the customer savings over 20 years is just over $1 million.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'll be talking about the distribution impact summary. So our PV systems were designed for Cheyney. They were assumed to have no effect on the distribution system, and we didn't find any threats of overvoltage or overloading of the grid. Kind of here in this figure, it shows how they're kind of hooked up to the grid, and so we have our systems all going into 4 feeders, and that that's to help offset individual buildings. And then using this heat map, we found that the distribution network had a capacity of 24,000 kVA, and our systems only used about 4,000 kVA. So that was we're only using 14% of the hosting capacity. Because of this, we feel like our systems are pretty low risk. And also in this map, you can kind of see our interconnection maps, and we don't feel like those are that great of a distance. So it also lowers the risk of interconnection.
Hi, I'm James, and I'll be talking to you about the financial aspects of our project. So to begin, I would like to talk about the contract that we're proposing for Cheyney University. The contract will take the form of a power purchase agreement or a PPA. In this case, the university will purchase energy from a project company at a given rate. All that the university is responsible for is making sure they pay monthly bills, just as they are already currently doing. It is up to the project development company to come in and build a distributed generation solar system at Cheyney, which would be modeled using Aurora Solar. The project development company will take on the project costs, including construction fees and operation and maintenance throughout the 20-year period of the proposed agreement. To make sure they can take on the initial capital of the project company will team up with an outsider investor that will help provide capital and initial construction costs that are upfront. This agreement between the investor and the project company will take the form of a partnership flip in the form of a limited liability corporation, or LLC. Before any agreements are made, the project company will come in to make an agreement with an investor on a rate of return that is reasonable for both parties. In this case, it was agreed that a 7.5% equity investor hurdle rate was suitable for both parties. Also, 7.5% is the industrial standard, or WACC, for large distributed PV portfolios. The investor will be getting the majority of the tax benefits, which include the federal ITC and marks depreciation in the first 6 years of the project, which decreases its tax liability. For 6 systems generated using Aurora Solar for Cheyney University, an equity lesser hurdle rate of 7.5% was met with matching IRRs, indicating that the projects had a reasonable return on investment. With both the equity lesser hurdle rate and IRRs matching at 7.5%, all the systems are desirable to the investor or shadow party. The investor is receiving tax benefits such as the ITC from the project, which reduces their tax liability. The project developer is getting the necessary capital for the projects, and Cheyney University is getting cost savings from purchasing solar monthly without investing in the panels, operations, maintenance, construction costs, etc. Once the investor hits their target IRR of 7.5% and gets a favorable return on the project, the project company and sponsor gets back the majority of the project revenue. Given that the project company does not have instrumental amounts of tax liability, seeking out an investor who would like to decrease their tax liability would take advantage of the tax benefits generated from the project. The tax equity investor would take advantage of the tax benefits such as the federal ITC at 26% and marks depreciation, while the project developer gets capital payment to pay back from the initial investment. Next slide. Oh, sorry. There we go. Cheyney University has 2 power purchase agreement options to choose from in order to satisfy its needs for solar installation on campus. The 2 options are to either maximize the number of buildings being offset with solar energy, you can see in figure 1 and 2, or maximize their savings over the 20-year lifespan of the project. You can see in figure 3. With the first option provided in figure 1, Cheyney University can invest in a PPA that allows for 6 different buildings on campus to benefit from solar energy. This is possible through 2 Pennsylvania solar energy grants. Cheyney is eligible for the Solar Energy Program grant provided by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. This grant provides a maximum of $1 million. However, the program will provide more grant money to institutions that significantly impact the authority's goals to increase solar energy generated in the Commonwealth. In this case, Cheyney's use of solar exceeds these expectations. Having solar at Cheyney provides an opportunity for a state school to exemplify how educational institutions in Pennsylvania can make an impact in preventing climate change. Also, solar installation can provide educational benefits, given that students attending the school will be allowed to gain firsthand experience and hands-on lessons on solar energy generation. Furthermore, this department provides another grant for other clean energy fuels, such as waste coal, biomass, and wind energy, worth up to $2 million. Given this information, it is believed that the proposed grant that Cheyney is eligible for is up to $2 million, provided with the right justification just explained. The downside of this grant is that all the solar renewable energy credits, or SRECs, must be transferred to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development over the lifespan of the PPA, which would be 20 years. Cheyney is also eligible for the Alternate Energy Investment Fund given by the Department of Community and Economic Development. This grant is 10% of the project's total cost. These grants thus bring down the total cost per watt to help generate 7.5% IRRs and positive customer savings for all 6 buildings. Furthermore, to help generate a reasonable IRR at 7.5% and provide positive NPVs of customer savings, operations and maintenance costs were reduced. Given that Cheyney University is located in a Keystone Innovation Zone, we decided that we would invite a solar energy company that does operations and maintenance to move onto campus and take part in the program. In exchange for the tax benefits from the Keystone Innovation Zone program, the solar company would provide operations and maintenance at a discounted rate for the PPA. This would still increase the revenues each year, which would allows the company to take advantage of the tax credit from the program. As you can see in figure 2, if only $1 million can be provided by the solar energy program grant, then only 3 buildings are economically feasible and meet the investor's hurdle rate of 7.5%. Customer savings decreases as well, but remains positive over the 20-year lifespan of the PPA. In figure 3, as we can see, sorry.
It's a 2-minute warning, by the way.
Okay, thank you. I'll actually just pass it on to my partner. Here you go, Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe. I'm going to be the head of the kind of development plan. Sorry, one second.
Try clicking on the screen so that you just click on it once.
Thank you. There you go.
Then the arrows should work from onwards.
Awesome. Okay, so I took the head of the project's development plan as well as our community outreach. As you can see, in total, we would like to have our project completed in about 24 months. Cheyney University falls under the authority of 2 separate counties, with the northern half of the campus governed by Chester County and the southern half governed by Delaware County. There's a slight differences in land zoning between the 2 countries, with counties, with Chester County zoning identifying Cheyney University as R1 residential agricultural zone, while Delaware County zoning identifies Cheyney University in an I institutional zone. Another difference we found was how detailed each county's legislation was on solar, with Chester County having an in-depth view of what solar installation should be within the county, while we were looking at Delaware had really nothing on solar installations. But however, Delaware County is part of Thornberry Township, which shares many of Chester County's future plans and legislations. But yeah, we decided with our community outreach project to talk or to implement a product from Onyx Solar. An example of the product is in the left with George Washington University. They installed something very similar. This product is an anti-slip pedestrian made flooring material that uses advanced thin film solar technologies like amorphous silicon and crystalline silicon to help offset carbon emissions. Our plan for these PV pavers is to create a commemorative walkway where members of the surrounding community, as well as the university's alumni, faculty, student organizations, and other sponsored donors can dedicate a PV paver as the community produces an innovative PV design.